Welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be covering the full life of Balerion the Black Dread. Balerion was eventually claimed by Lord Aegon Targaryen sometime before he married his sisters Visenya and Rhaenys. Aegon became involved in the wars in the disputed lands when Pentos and Tyrosh approached him, inviting him to join a grand alliance against Volantis, and he chose to heed their call. Mounting Balerion, he flew east to meet the Prince of Pentos and the Magisters of the Free City. Then he flew to Lys in time to set ablaze a Volantine fleet trying to take the city. Afterwards, Aegon turned his attention to conquering the Seven Kingdoms, during which he flew on Balerion. Aegon descended on Lords Mountain and Darkland, killing both of them during Aegon's first test. After the Ironborn victory at the Wailing Willows, Balerion burned the victors on the God's Eye. Next, Aegon took Balerion to Harrenhal, where Harrenhal, the king of the Isles and the Rivers, had taken refuge in his fortress. When Harren the Black had not yielded by sunset, Aegon took Balerion high up and descended inside the castle walls, putting the new castle to flame. Balerion's dragonfire burned so hot that the towers of Harrenhal went up like candles, melting and twisting into the shapes they retain to this day. King Harren and his remaining sons all died, ending the line of House Hor. The men of Crackclaw Point quickly surrendered to Visenya after learning of the burning of Harrenhal. Aegon next rode Balerion in the field of fire besides his sisters on Vhagar and Meraxes. Between the three dragons, 4,000 men were burned to death, including Mern Gardner, the king of the Reach, which resulted in a Targaryen victory. When Aegon learned that Torrhen Stark, the king in the north, had crossed the neck and was leading an army into the Riverlands, he raced ahead of his army on Balerion to meet them. When the Targaryen host was camped at one side of the Trident and the northern host on the other side, Torrhen's bastard brother Brandon offered to assassinate the sleeping dragons. Recalling the destruction they had caused at the Field of Fire, Torrhen instead submitted to Aegon. According to song, at the end of the war, Balerion helped to forge the Iron Throne by melting the swords of Aegon's fallen enemies. In 2 AC, Aegon flew his dragon to the Iron Islands to end the succession struggle among the Ironborn. Aegon flew Balerion during the First Dornish War, finding Sunspear abandoned when he first arrived. Dorne rose in rebellion after he left, however, and Lord Orys Baratheon was mutilated. Aegon retaliated by burning several of House Wyle's keeps, and the king later attacked Sandstone and Hellholt with the aid of Visenya. Aegon burned Skyreach after House Fowler attacked Nightsong. King Aegon made frequent royal progresses throughout the Seven Kingdoms. Besides allowing the new monarch to learn more about his subjects, the sight of Balerion during these visits helped prevent rebellion. After the death of King Aegon I Targaryen, Balerion was claimed by his younger son, Prince Maegor, who had long coveted his father's mount, and had not claimed another dragon because he considered all others unworthy. After Jonos Arryn imprisoned his brother Ronald and declared himself independent of the Iron Throne, Maegor rode the Black Dread to the Vale of Arryn and put down his rebellion. When Maegor was exiled to Pentos as punishment for his polygamous marriage, he took Balerion with him. After the death of his elder brother, King Aenys I, Maegor flew back to Westeros on Balerion to claim the Iron Throne. During the Faith Militant Uprising, King Maegor used Balerion in the burning of the Sept of Remembrance and in the battle at the Great Fork of the Blackwater Rush. In the Westerlands, the king burned the seats of Houses Broom, Doggett, Falwell, and Lorch. Maegor threatened to attack Old Town as well, but the city opened its gates to the king after the unexpected death of the High Septon. In the battle beneath the God's Eye, Maegor used Balerion to kill his nephew Prince Aegon and his dragon Quicksilver. After the completion of the Red Keep, Maegor began construction of the Dragon Pit to house Balerion, Vhagar, and other dragons. After Maegor's death, Balerion returned to Dragonstone. In late 54 AC, Princess Aerea Targaryen claimed Balerion from the yard of Dragonstone one morning. They disappeared and went missing for more than a year. King Jaehaerys sent expeditions to try and locate Balerion and the young princess, and the Master of Corn Rego Draz offered a reward for any information on their whereabouts, but none came forward that were credible. Balerion was the largest living dragon in the world, but there was no sightings of him anywhere. Sept and Barth believed that the lack of sightings suggested that Balerion was no longer in Westeros. Rhaena Targaryen departed on Dreamfire to search for Balerion and her missing daughter. Balerion, though, returned to King's Landing in 56 AC, descending into the courtyard of the Red Keep, with Aerea barely clinging to him. The princess was severely ill and died soon after. Barth's accounts describe wounds and half-healed scars on Balerion. The dragon bore a huge jagged rent down his left side, almost 9 feet long, and fresh blood still dripped from the wound, hot and smoking. Barth speculated that when Aerea claimed Balerion, she was unable to bend the dragon to her will, and instead the dragon had taken her to the place he had been born, Valyria. Shortly thereafter, Balerion became the first dragon to be housed in the dragon pit, where he was guarded by the dragon keepers. Prince Balon smacked Balerion on the snout the first time the boy entered the dragon pit. When Princess Alyssa Targaryen came to the dragon pit to claim a dragon of her own, the dragon keepers persuaded her not to try and claim Balerion, insisting that the dragon had become old and slow, suggesting to her that she would much prefer a faster dragon. The last rider of Balerion was Prince Viserys Targaryen, who entered the dragon pit to claim the dragon in 93 AC. Balerion was hard to rouse and struggled when Viserys urged him into the sky. They flew around King's Landing 3 times, although Viserys later confided to his father that he had originally intended to fly Balerion to Dragonstone. However, fearing the dragon lacked the strength to do so, Viserys opted to do otherwise. Balerion died a year later in 94 AC, less than a year after Viserys claimed him as his mount. Princess Rhaenys Targaryen named her black kitten after Balerion, and the girl often pretended that her cat was actually the Black Dread. Along with 18 other Targaryen dragon skulls, Balerion's skull hung on a wall in the Red Keep's throne room. There you have it. That's the story of Balerion the Black Dread. I think it'd be awesome to see him on our TV screen someday. We'll see if we ever get that. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.